I want to see Halloween Kills have more gore than any Halloween movie. What is up, Pencil Squad? Welcome back to another video. And today we'll be ranking the Halloween franchise by what I like. And no, it'll not be what anybody else goes by. It'll be what I go by. These are my favorite films. But let's get into it. So at number one, it's Halloween. I mean, nobody's gonna beat the original John Carpenter's Halloween. You could try, but the cinematography is just too great in that movie. The story was okay, but it had phenomenal acting from Jamie Lee Curtis and Donald Pleasance. There's just no topping that movie. And then number two is my number two spot. It's gonna have to be Halloween 2 for now. I think it could switch up to Halloween Kills, but it honestly depends. The movie ain't come out yet. It could be Halloween Kills could be a bad movie. Who knows? I'm hoping not, because it's supposed to be one of the best Halloween films for gore. But the reason I like Halloween 2 is because it's basically just Halloween, the same acting and everything, but they've added gore to it. That's why I like it so much. You get the original atmosphere, you get the same town, you get the same feeling. The only thing I wish they didn't do with the movie was add the sibling storyline. I don't think nobody likes that. Like, why did they add that? That was just very idiotic. Because everybody knows that Halloween 2 would be 10 times better without the storyline angle of just, hey, it's Michael's sister, that's why he's trying to kill her. That was just stupid. No. I won't be considering Halloween 3 in there. These are just these are just the Halloween films with Michael Myers in it. Okay, let's see. Now number 3 is going to have to be Halloween H2O. This is just me. I know a lot of people's gonna get mad that it's not 2018 or Halloween 4 or anything like that, but come on, you think you're gonna beat Halloween H2O? Nobody can say that Halloween H2O wasn't a good movie. And if you do, you're just lying to yourself at this point. Because the sibling, they actually made it to where if Michael comes after her, she's got PTSD. So it's not a good sign for her. If you don't think that's a good part in the movie, or a good part of the storyline, then you're just blind at this point. That's a great part of the storyline. Because that would actually happen if the same serial killer came after you. Even if not, you'd have PTSD nightmares like she did in the movie. And the ending is the best Halloween ending ever. Michael Myers gets his head chopped off by Laurie Strode. And I know they overturned it in Halloween Resurrection, but nobody likes that movie. Nobody wants to even consider that close to being a good Halloween movie. Nobody even wants to consider that a Halloween movie. That would be like what would happen if a Halloween fan filmmaker was a little kid. Like, I kid you not. Growing up at that time, because Busta Rhymes was he's a good rapper, but he's not a good movie star. I'm just gonna say that. So it would be higher on my list if they didn't add the sibling rivalry into it in Halloween 2 that they carried off from there, which they did a phenomenal job of doing that, because they did the best they could with it. But it's just a waste of time to carry it over in the first place. I would have rather have seen, you know, Scream over over some of the Halloween films, like Halloween 6. A lot of people's gonna hate where I have it on the list. But let's keep going. Halloween H2O was my number 3. My number 4 spot is, I would have to say, Halloween 4. The Return of Michael Myers. Because this movie was a great return for Michael Myers. I mean, the kid acting of freaking, I already forget her name, but she was an amazing kid actor, and she's still an amazing actor today. Because she was in the Rob Zombie remake films, and she was amazing. Like, she did such an amazing job in that. And a lot of people may say, well, she didn't do a good job in Halloween 6 because she never made it to the movie. They already had her. Oh, it's Danielle Harris. Yeah, sorry. But they already had Danielle as one of the cast members. Literally, since they killed her off earlier in the film, she wanted more money and they wouldn't give it to her. She thought that she deserved more than that since she was going out in such an unheroic way. She wanted to have a heroic end. Like, this film was just messed up for her. She didn't like that. That's why she did that. But now let's get back into it. Halloween. You know, a lot of people's gonna hate this. My 4th favorite's gonna have to be Halloween. My 5th favorite, sorry. My 5th favorite's gonna have to be Halloween 2018. And a lot of people are probably like, oh my gosh, why do you have it ranked so low? That's actually pretty high. Because I thought the only reason being is it was amazing watching it in theaters. But going back and watching it now, it's just boring. Like, there's not enough in it. I get Halloween Kills is gonna have all the gore and stuff, and that's probably why it wasn't such a good movie. Because literally, it didn't have the atmosphere of Halloween 1, because it was set at night the whole time. My 6th spot would have to be Halloween 6. The Return, The Curse of Michael Myers. And I know a lot of people's like, why are you ranking that so high? I know a lot of people are already like that. But let me say this. The reason I'm ranking it so high is because it had good intentions. The producer's cut was a good version. The thing that ruined it was the fact that they made a theatrical version that made no sense at all. That was the only reason. And plus, they made Jamie die off in the early act, and she was one of the best actresses in the middle Halloween franchise. Like, the middle films of the Halloween franchise, so that also hurts the ranking a little bit. It would be higher. Like, if Danielle Harris was to have been on the film, it would have been higher. I want to see Halloween Kills have more gore than any Halloween movie. Like, I'm talking about freaking more gore than Halloween 2 or any of the Rob Zombie films, because it's being hyped up that way. If it's not, I'm going to be very disappointed and say the movie's trash just because they lied to us. But let's get back into the ranking. Well, Halloween, my 7th favorite, I was on my 6th, now my 7th favorite is Halloween, I would have to say Halloween, but my number 7th pick has to be Halloween's Rob Zombie remake. It was, I mean, you gotta give it props. It retold the story and made it more gory. That's exactly what he did. He just retold Halloween 1 the original Halloween and Halloween 2's storyline. And I'm talking about the originals, not the Rob Zombie remake Halloween 2. But he did good with what he had, you know. You got to give him props for that. He sucks at making Michael like very, like giving Michael a backstory was just stupid. I get he needed one because nobody remakes are supposed to tell a different story, and that's a part of the different story, but it's just dumb. Don't give him a backstory if you're gonna make him a freaking 7-foot tall brute that'll kill anybody. Just don't go through the Tom. And my 8th favorite Halloween film, Halloween Rob Zombie Remake 2. The second Halloween Rob Zombie remake film. The reason it is higher than Resurrection and 5, it's because, come on. Them films are trash. And I get Halloween 2 is too. But the reason it's not trash is because it didn't have Busta Rhymes kicking the crap out of Michael Myers. And it also didn't have freaking Jamie Lee Curtis getting killed off in the first bit. And I'm just gonna say this. That kind of pissed me off when people say that Halloween Resurrection is better than Halloween 5. It is worse than Halloween 5. They made Michael Myers look like a jackass, like not knowing what he's doing, because it was a popular time to make them look like freaking dumbasses because of what they did with Scream. That's the only reason they did it. It was around that time period. My 10th favorite is Halloween 5. I mean, we all know why. The story's boring, but it had great kid acting from Danielle Harris yet again. I think it had great acting from Donald Pleasance. He did what he could with the role. And just all around, they tried to make it as good as they could for being a crap movie, and it kind of worked. Literally, without Donald Pleasance being a crazy motherfucker in this film, I wouldn't like it. Literally, I would not like it half as much because of what they did with it. They made Danielle Harris seem mute. I don't know why they did that. She did really good acting for what she was supposed to do, because they literally gave her a crap role, and she did the best with it, and everybody loves her for it. Like, she was just a phenomenal kid actor. Like, I would say she's at least in my top 5 kid actors on TV. She's up there in top 2, actually. Because my favorite 2 is the kid from Home Alone and her. Literally, I can't remember his name right now. That's why I didn't say it. So if you know his name, leave it in the comments. But let's get back to it. My 11th favorite Halloween film. And you all know why this is my 11th favorite Halloween film. Halloween Resurrection. I would not go back and watch this movie. The only reason I bought it is because it came with the H2O one. How did they go from H2O being a masterpiece, well, as much as they could make it one with a storyline, how do they go from a absolutely great movie to a crap movie the next time they make one? That just, to me, that makes no sense. How do you go from Halloween H2O having the best ending to overwriting it? It's like you got a kid to write your script. Like a little kid who was just a fan of the series and a fan of Michael Myers, and he didn't want him to die off. Literally, that's what I think of it. Little kids wrote that movie. And I know they actually didn't. Mustafa Akkad wanted to make more money off of Michael. That's why they didn't end him in Halloween H2O. But it would have been an amazing ending. Like, literally, Jamie Lee Curtis wouldn't have had to die off in that movie in the worst way possible. Thinking it's another paramedic? Come on. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, there's a scene where she's hung up on a freaking... where Michael's hung up on an escalator or something. Well, I don't know the full thing for it. But it's an escalator, technically. Because it's like a rope that goes up and down. It may be a pulley, I don't know. But he was hung up on one of them. And she said, I have to make sure. Because she doesn't want to stay in there the rest of her life. Even though you should know it's Michael. If he comes after you with a butcher knife in hand, it's Michael freaking Myers. And in the last film, it was Michael Myers. They just changed the story because they wanted to make more money off of it. That's exactly why I hate that film. Halloween Resurrection is by far the worst Halloween film of all time. And if you're wondering why I didn't consider Halloween 3 in this list, just come on. It's a Michael Myers Halloween list. Not... If Halloween 3 was in the list, it would be up there in my top 5. Because it's way better than Halloween H2O. Because it's original. Actually, I think they should have done that instead of just freaking leave it alone where it was at. I would have rather seen a new Halloween series as opposed to some of this bullcrap on this list. Like Halloween Resurrection, I would have rather seen Halloween, like, Season of the Witch 2 or something like that. Or Halloween, not only Season of the Witch, I would have rather have seen a new one. Because they were going to do a new series, like a trilogy series. And then they sold off the rights to Mustafa Akkad. He was a great guy, but he couldn't keep the franchise afloat by himself. You need John Carpenter's presence. That's why I'm glad he came back for the 2018 film. Because without him, it would have been nothing. Well, it would have still been a great movie, but everybody would have said it's just cannon fodder to some of these films. Like Halloween 2, Halloween Resurrection. But in my opinion, that was the list, in my opinion. You guys can have your own opinions if you want. I'm just saying, that is my Halloween franchise ranked. And if I missed any, please tell me. Or if I repeated one, you know what I mean. You know what I mean. If I repeated a number and I didn't mean to, I'll just go over it with text and say I meant this. But seriously, why do they have to ruin some of these films? Like, they would have been so much better if they didn't ruin them like that. But they did anyway. So I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.